Keeping It Real. I'm your host, Roz Turner, with the Nothing But Skills NBS Hoop League. If you guys can just let me know that you hear me, we've had some technical difficulties. We had to run a couple of sound tests. So if you can't hear me, if you guys can leave a comment to let us know. Otherwise, we apologize for those technical difficulties. Moving right into today's lineup, and we welcome everyone for joining us. I'm your host, Roz Turner, with the Nothing But Skills NBS. I'm going to turn this. Okay, and since I can hear myself, I'm sure you all can hear me as well. Again, we apologize for that. So today, we wanted to get into the power rankings. We wanted to start to show off the official power rankings. Was announced on At the Buzzer Wednesday with Brother L. And just want to remind you guys to stay tuned to the NBS At the Buzzer. It's our sports broadcast show, and it comes on every Mondays and Wednesdays right here on Periscope. Monday, Brother L will be our host, and our media director, Dennis Thompson, and my producer, he will be the host on Wednesday nights. So definitely stay tuned to At the Buzzer on Monday and Wednesday nights. But for the Keeping It Real power rankings, we like to kind of adjust the official power rankings just a little bit to reflect, what we feel, and you all as our viewers feel that maybe, the official power rankings were a little bit off, and this is a better or a different viewpoint of the power rankings. So nevertheless, I'm not going to go over all the power rankings, the official power rankings, but I'm going to go over mine. But Them Boys was ranked at number 1. Fast Forward was ranked at number 2. Dynasty at number 3. Rock Boys at number 4. Bears at number 5. Gotham City at number 6. And Legends at number 7. So just those top 7 were a lot different in my in the Keeping It Real power rankings. So I'm just going to pull that up right now. Okay, so on the Keeping It Real power rankings, I ranked Fast Forward, of course, as number 1. Reason being, they're undefeated, and they're the only undefeated team in the league. So what I like to do, I'm not sure exactly the exact protocol that the media department here at NBS uses. I know they like to look at a lot of different things outside of just the numbers. They like to look at, whether or not they feel it was a great team, how many points they lost by, and that's all great. But here on the Keeping It Real power rankings, the number 1 deciding factor for us in our power rankings is the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. And then if several teams are tied with the same standing, then we go into analyzing who did you lose, how many points did you lose by, when did you lose, who did you lose to. We then begin to decipher the tiebreaker on these other factors. But the number 1 factor here to me is the numbers. So there's no reason to me why Them Boys should be ranked above Fast Forward when Fast Forward is the only undefeated team in the league right now. So Fast Forward at number 1, Them Boys at number 2. Them Boys, I ranked them at number 2 because they beat Dynasty. And so they clearly deserve the number 2 spot. They're currently 5-1. We have a couple 5-1 teams, so that was the tiebreaker deciding factor for that. Dynasty at number 3. Dynasty has not lost since opening day. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Definitely deserve the number 3 spot. Now my number 4 and number 5, I want to say they're interchangeable, like almost tied. They both have great reasons to be at number 4 or number 5. And those 2 teams I have is Rock Boys and the Bears. The Bears were undefeated until last week. So since this is a week-by-week power ranking, they lost last week. Definitely dropped them down in the power rankings from number 1 to number 4 or 5. I looked at that. The Bears lost to a more difficult team than the Rock Boys. The Rock Boys, they lost to greatness. The Bears were on a 5-game winning streak, and then they lost. So we have to take into account, like, hey, they were on a winning streak. They did win their first 5 games. as opposed to the Rock Boys. They kind of lost, I believe, in week 3 or week 4. They lost somewhere in between. So they haven't been on that long of a stretch of a winning streak as the Bears. So that's why I kind of say they're kind of equal. Both are great teams. This whole top 5, awesome. Doing a great job. Number 6 I ranked was Gotham City. Gotham City is 4-2. I ranked No Limit next. They're also 4-2. And then NWO. I ranked NWO last out of the 4-2 teams because NWO unfortunately have lost the past 2 weeks. So I don't know how if they were higher. I think the NWO was number 8 on the official as well. Gotham City was a little further down, which in the official power rankings. Again, don't understand it because their record is better. So it does, to me, at that point, if your record is better, it doesn't matter who you played, how many. If you won by 1 point, you won. A win is a win. So you need to get ranked according to your wins. I did push Legends down a bit to number 9. Legends are currently 3-3. Out of the 3-3 standing teams, which is Legends, the Mob, and Phenom, I ranked Legends first because they've won back-to-back Sundays by 20-plus points. So that could have been why they were moved up in the power rankings. But nevertheless, they're still 3-3. So I kept them, down at number 9. I have the Mob at number 10. And Phenom at number 11. So I've stopped my power rankings at 11. I usually go to 12. But the next team was at 2 and 4, and I really didn't want to have to analyze the 2 and 4 teams. Just kind of said, okay, just get your game up. You'll make the Keeping It Real power rankings. So that's it for our power rankings. There's a couple different teams I put on the hot seat this week. So let me just get here to my notes. Oh, before we get to that, the media department, we posted if the playoffs started today. So I just want to go over that on the Keeping It Real show today. So if the playoffs started today, these are the top 12 teams that would advance in the 6 from the East, 6 from the West. We have Fast Forward at number 1, Them Boys at number 2, Dynasty at number 3, Rock Boys at number 4, Bears at number 5, NWO number 6, Gotham City number 7, and then No Limit, Legends, The Mob, Ballers, and The Knolls. So right now, these are the current teams that would advance. So if your name or your team's name wasn't called, just get your game up and try to make this list because this is the list that really counts. And, I'm just keeping it real. So we're going to move on to the next thing on our agenda, which the teams that I put on the hot seat, let's start with Outkast. I don't have really a lot to say about Outkast. I think Brother L on At the Buzzer on Wednesday did a great job just kind of putting Outkast on a hot seat and saying, hey, you're 0-6 in the MBS. It's kind of hard, to come by. But I'm just looking at their history. In week 1, they lost in the limit, 61-43, blowout. In week 2, they lost to the Bears, 54-49, another blowout. In week 3, they lost to Rock Boys, 62-50, another blowout. And in week 4, they lost to Fast Forward, which is, I think this goes down in the history of being one of the worst losses ever in MBS in all seasons. But I'm not too sure because there was a couple more last season. So, but this is definitely one of them. 104-66. So, I don't even know why they finished that game. In week 5, they lost to the Legends, 83-63, another blowout. And in week 6, this past week, to the Mob, 55-53, which was not a blowout. So I'm just like, okay, so now I guess, after 5 weeks, seems like Outkast may be kind of coming together. Or either, I don't know why the Mob had a hard time, with this win. They only won by 2, but nevertheless, they won. So possibly Outkast may shock a few people this coming up week, and they may be able to pull it off. Again, 1-2 points doesn't matter as long as you win. But based on the history of the team, honestly, they don't look like playoff contenders, and I'm just keeping it real. They probably have to come back next season and try again. Moving on to my next team on the hot seat is the Cobras. And by the way, I did try to get someone from the Outcast organization for an interview. No one has gotten back with me. So if you're listening, anyone from Outcast, and you don't mind coming on Keeping It Real and being in the hot seat, definitely give me an inbox. Let me know. We'll put you on next week's show. But moving forward, Cobras, they are currently a 1-5 team. However, I definitely think, in the power rankings, their rank should be somewhere towards the bottom. I think Outkast should be at the bottom, which also in the official power rankings, I don't know why they rank Outkast, 17, 16. You can't even move up if you haven't won a game. So they should be at the bottom. I don't even go that far into it, but they should be at the bottom. And Cobras should be somewhere near the bottom, like right before them. But nevertheless, what I do have to say good about the Cobras is a lot of their games were really close. And I think that the Cobras could be definitely a better team than what their standing reflects. So you guys may not want to underestimate the Cobras if you're going to be battling the Cobras. Because they may be like, the Knolls, 2 or 3 seasons ago. They may be on the bottom and, hey, work their way into the playoffs. So I went through the Cobras' losses and just kind of analyzed them a little bit. In game 1, they lost to Phenom 35-30. Actually, they was up in that game by 7 or 8 points. And Phenom came back in the 4th. My sources tell me that Mike Berry hit some free throws. I didn't get to watch that game, but nevertheless, Cobras did have a lead, which Cobras do have a lead in most of their games, and then they end up losing it. So it's something about closing the game in the Cobras organization, within your coaching staff and what have you, that you guys might want to discuss, because you guys are not a bad team or as bad of a team as your standing may reflect. In game 2, they lost the Rock Boys. I heard they really didn't have a chance in that game, 56-40. But moving on, so shout out the Rock Boys. Moving on, they lost to Dynasty 58-51. I did hear that the Cobras was up in this game as well. They was up by 7 in the 4th. They made some costly mistakes. They left some key shooters open. So there was some type of decrease in their defense, and they ended up losing.
Cobras quit playing in that game.
Cobras quit playing in that game. Okay, that's my producers. Cobras just quit. And that's another thing, Cobras, you guys can't quit. You guys got to stay motivated. A lot of the times you guys are not down by a lot when you give up. And then once you give up, then it's all over. Even in the game with them boys, which them boys is a very competitive team, one of the top teams in the league for the past few seasons, the championship team from last season. So, of course, this is going to be a difficult team to beat. Nevertheless, in this game, I believe it was the 3rd quarter, that Cobras was up by 2 to 4 points on them boys. So, to even have a lead with this team shows that you guys can be very competitive. But nevertheless, it was a blowout, 71-53. Cobras, you gave up again, and it was just all over downhill from there. The Mob, in week 5, 45-37. Now, this was an unnecessary loss based on what my sources are telling me. You guys were up by 16, Cobras, in the second half. I don't know if you lined up on your defensive pressure or what happened. You let it slip away, 45-37. It was not a blowout compared to some of the other games, but nevertheless, you guys lost, could not finish the job. And now week 6, you finally got your first win, so congratulations, Cobras, against the Knolls. You won 53-46. So, great job on that last win. Hopefully that win reflects that you guys have kind of came together and made some changes, internally in your organization, to be able to close the game and actually win. But next on the hot seat, I want to put Thunderbirds on the hot seat. We do have their history here, but I want to call one of their key players and have him on the show just to enlighten us what's going on in the Thunderbird organization. Just one moment. We are going to call, most of you know him as Germ. His name is Germany, but we're going to give him a call. He's one of the stars of the team, and just see what exactly is going on with the Thunderbirds. They are currently 1-5. Hi, Germ. How are you? Welcome to Keeping It Real with Roz Turner. You want to turn? Can you turn on the light, Germ, or?
Yeah, I ain't trying to be seen not playing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, okay, that's a little bit better, Germ. We can see your face now. So we have the viewers here of Keeping It Real. You're live. Germ, well, you know, I have you on the phone, so I guess I won't be able to see my history. But just talk a little bit, Germ, about why has the Thunderbirds, whether it's a close game or blowout, you guys had a mixture, but why are you guys losing so many games when I look at the way that you play, it looks like you guys are playing good team ball. Why are you guys not able to finish and win the games?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, we just let it slip through our fingers. That's it. We all playing hard defense. We all trying to win, but at the end of the day, can't get it done.
Okay, so now you guys are 1-5, correct?
Yeah.
And what team did you guys beat?
The Mob.
Oh, you beat the Mob. Okay. So do you think that you've had like some tough teams to start with? And what do you foresee the Thunderbirds doing in the next upcoming weeks? As far as do you feel like you guys are going to be playoff contenders?
I think so, yes. We played they weren't the best team, but they were pretty straight. It's just some players just ain't come to play the game we was playing. Mm-hmm. If we could have got more people involved instead of like just me and Ray Shine or me and Zoo. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We need to get other people active and doing their thing to get them rolling, which I tried, but I don't know.
Okay, so now I haven't been able to watch all of you guys' games, so just, fill me in and just keep it real. Now, have you guys been able to get the ball into the hands of other players outside of you, Zoo, and some of the other players you, I'm sorry. I'll decline you, Troy.
Yeah, I gladly give up the ball. Like, I'm not one to ball hog. I'll give it to the open man if my man's open, but they either give up the shot, pass it back, or they just pass the ball up. They don't want to take the shot. I don't know what's up with that.
So how is it, Germ? Like, for instance, in one of the weeks you made Player of the Week, though you guys lost. You're putting up, in some of the games, 30-plus points, 20-something points. How is it you're putting up so many points, but you guys are still losing? But you're not a ball hog. Just want to put all that together.
I'm just saying.
Oh, sorry about that,
Germ.
Germ.
Pass you the ball, you pass it back to me clearly. You don't want the ball.
Exactly.
If I can score, I'm going to score. I'm not going to give up a free bucket. You know what I mean? So, like I said, guys aren't being aggressive as they should be. Mm-hmm. So, like...
So that means that you have to step up because do you feel like they're afraid to shoot the ball? I mean, just, in the simplest forms, keeping it real?
Yeah, because they feel like I don't shoot enough. But when you got the open shot, you pass the ball.
Right.
Wide open, you want to pass the ball up. It's like, I'm telling them every time we get to the bench, shoot, Z, shoot, Mel, shoot. Y'all got the shot, shoot. And ball ends up back in my hand.
Okay. Well, that's actually a good analyzation of one of the key issues. My sources just told me that you guys are one game out of a final spot in the West. So let me just ask my producer, does this mean that they have to win every game moving forward in the season except for one to get a spot in the playoffs?
Well, no. It means the last team in the Western Conference is the Nose at 2-4. Mm-hmm. So the Thunderbirds are really in a must-win situation and they really need to cheer for some nose losses to make their season, put them in contention.
So if you could, I don't know if you could do this, analyze this quickly. So for Germ and the Thunderbirds, do they have to win every game moving forward to even make a slot?
No.
Okay.
The most important game on their schedule moving forward is the Nose versus Thunderbirds, which is coming up in about 2 weeks.
So do they have to win that game?
Yes, must win.
So you have a must-win game coming up, Germ. I don't know if you were aware.
In about 2 weeks.
In about 2 weeks, you're going to be battling. You and your team are going to be against the Nose. You have to win that game to make a playoff spot. How do you feel? And your other games are important. But let's just talk about the must-win game. How do you feel in the next couple weeks going against the Nose? Do you feel that you guys have a good chance to beat them? Because you have to beat them.
I feel we got a good chance to beat any team. As long as we get rolling and everybody gets to touch the ball.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? As long as we get rolling, we're good. Like, we beat the Mob by 21 points. Everybody was feeling good. Everybody got the ball. We was pushing it. We was doing what we had to do. This other game, some people slow us down. I don't know where the head be at when we're balling. But if I got to take over, I will. I don't mind.
Right.
So I just got to get my team into it.
Right. Yeah, that's the key. You got to play team ball. So they won by 20-some points?
21.
21 points. Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. In what week did they win?
5.
In week 5. Oh, okay. So that's good.
4, excuse me.
They won in week 4?
Yeah.
Okay. What team do they have coming up tomorrow? Do you know who you battle tomorrow, Germ?
Battle for the 1 and 5, the Cobras.
Oh, okay. And we just got through talking about the Cobras and Cobras not being as bad of a team as their standing puts them. They really, they lose by, not a lot of points as well. They make some costly mistakes. Some of their games they were blown out.
So essentially, they can come into a tie tomorrow with a no loss. If Thunderbirds win tomorrow and the Nose lose, they now come into a tie for the last spot.
Okay, were you able to hear that, Germ?
Yeah, I heard it.
Oh, okay. So they come into a tie spot, and then when they battle, that'll be the tiebreaker game?
Yes.
Okay, if Germ loses tomorrow, then he's out.
They fall 2 games back.
So if they lose tomorrow, if Thunderbirds lose tomorrow,
they still have a chance. It'll just be tight. Means they got to go on a winning streak because if they lose tomorrow, they're now fall 2 games out of the last spot.
If they lose tomorrow, they have to win every game moving forward. So that's some.
But so it starts tomorrow.
That's a tight position for y'all. So if you lose tomorrow, Jer, you better go on. You got to go on a winning streak to the end of the season. And the Nose and everybody else you battle. If you win tomorrow, you still need to beat the Nose, but you may have room to lose one future game outside of it being the Nose. You may. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
So that's true. So pretty much, I don't know what you guys need to do. Maybe come together. I know y'all got a team chat. Talk about some things. Maybe run a practice if y'all can or something. But y'all really, pretty much, for the most part, cannot lose moving forward. Or, of course, now, someone said, on at the buzzer, in the comment section that Germ should get a buyout. How do you feel, Germ, about a possible buyout? Now that you know what you up against and what you have to win every single game moving forward, and you may have room to lose one. But not tomorrow's game and not the Nose. You can't lose those 2. But go ahead.
Thought a buyout, I wouldn't mind it, but then again, I started the Thunderbirds with Z, so I'm not going to leave my team regardless.
Right.
Next season, I don't know if it's going to be a Thunderbirds or what's happening, so I might be a free agent. I don't know what's happening yet.
Okay. So everyone hears that. Keeping it real, Germ may become a free agent next year if Thunderbirds are non-existent. Depending on how these next few games go. Okay, Germ. So does any of our viewers have any questions for the Thunderbirds, for Germ here, one of the stars of the Thunderbirds? Any comments? Any suggestions? You guys can type them in. Don't know that I can see him. Can I see him? I should be able to see him. Okay, well, right now I don't see any, I see you, King Trey, but I don't know what that means.
It says, how do you lose 5 games?
He said, how do you lose 5 games?
Yes.
Germ, one of the viewers out here on Keeping It Real said, Germ, how do you and the Thunderbirds lose 5 games?
Well, if you look at our games, we only lost, we lost 4 games by 1 or 2 possessions. We just couldn't close it out. It ain't no blowout. You know what I mean? We gave them the run for their money.
Right. Oh, okay. Okay, T. Curry, that's we won't say that, but I hear you. So, if we have no other comments, so we have no other comments for Thunderbirds. We thank you so much for coming on, Germ. We wish you the best of luck moving forward. Tomorrow's game, you pretty much would say, I would say tomorrow's a must win. Because if you go in with, we got to win this to make the playoffs, that could be the game changer, that all the motivation your team needs. Every game is a must win. That's what moving forward, Germ, it's a must win. Must win. So, yeah, and definitely, Germ, talk to some of your other players. They're welcome to come on the show. I would love to have Zoo, some of the other players on the show. So talk to, your coach Rolly. We would love to have him on the show as well. I'll reach out to him as well. But, but thank you so much, Germ. We really appreciate you coming on the show. And we'll see you shortly.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, and there you have it, MBS. Germany from Thunderbirds says that every game moving forward is a must-win, and he's looking forward to a playoff spot. And again, where that, if even he's at the bottom, as long as they make it in. So Knowles, just know that they're going to come motivated. I believe that's in week 7 or 8 that they battle, but it's a must win. So my question to you, Dennis, if Thunderbirds are at a must win situation right now with the Knowles, are the Knowles in a must win situation?
Most definitely, the Knowles are in a must situation.
Okay.
The Knowles are in a race to try to catch the Legends, because currently the Knowles do own the tiebreaker with the Legends. If for some reason the Legends and the Knowles would end up with the same record, the Legends would get eliminated and the Knowles would advance due to the fact that the Knowles beat the Legends during regular season action.
Right.
So the Knowles are in a must win as well.
Okay, so there you have it. Anyone watching tonight or, are going to view this in the future, Knowles, you're also in a must-win situation as well. So you guys pretty much can't lose any more games if you want to play off spot. So that's pretty much it tonight on Keeping It Real. You guys want to shout out your teams? I know we have Gotham City on. If you guys want to just shout your teams out, what teams we have watching tonight, I'll give you a second to do that. But don't forget to tune in to At the Buzzer, which is going to be Monday night with Brother L. He's going to give you all of the recaps from the games on Sunday. Otherwise, friends, family, and everyone at NBS, we will see you at the games on Sunday night. This is Roz Turner, and I'm just keeping it real.